Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we talked about CSS selectors, which tell CSS the elements we want to style. Today, we're going to be trying to understand how these elements take up space and interact with each other on the page. That is, talking about the CSS box model. Every HTML element you see on a web page can be thought of as a rectangular box, and understanding how this model works is very key to building well-structured and properly spaced out layouts. Let's break it down. Imagine every single element on your page, images, buttons, headings, has been wrapped in a series of boxes from the inside out. So to see this in action, we will be creating a simple div. Let me just comment this out so that it doesn't confuse us. So the first part of the box model is the content. The content here refers to the element itself, be it a div, a paragraph, an image. Think of any HTML element at all. So for this, I'm going to be creating a div with a text of hello. So in this case, this div here is the content. Right here is on our page. This is a div. That is the content. Then next you have the padding. So the padding is what creates space inside the box. So let's see this properly by giving this div some kind of style. I'll give it a background color of gray so that it is very obvious. I'll give it a width of 200 pixel and the height of 100 pixel. Now you can see that these are div as you can see it now as a box, right? So this whole gray box with the text hello is the content. Now the padding is a space inside the box, right? It creates space between the content and the edge of the box. This is the content, this hello, and the edge of the box. You can see it right here. There's no space now. But let's give this a padding now and then you see what I'm talking about. So padding, I'll give it 20 pixel. All right, so now you can see that there is now breathing space between this content and the edge of this box right here. So that is what the padding does. And the next is the border, and the border is the visible line that goes around the padding. So for that, let's quickly give this a border. And for the border, it has some other properties. You know, we have the border width, the border style, the border color. So but it's a shorthand for it, which is just to say border 1 pixel, which is the width, solid, which is the border style, and the color, I'll give it red. So now you can see this border right here, red border. So the border, like I said, is a line around the padding. Next you have the margin. So the margin is what gives is a space outside the border. It separates one element from the other, right? So let me give this a margin of 50 pixel. Now you see it has created a space around these our elements, right? If we had another div on our page, you would see this very well. So I'm just going to copy this down here. So now you can see that there is a space between these boxes, right? And this is what the margin does. If I take off this margin, now you see that there's no breathing space between these elements, right? So that is what this margin does. Creates space outside the box and pushing other elements away from each other. One of the most powerful tools for understanding the box model is your browser's developer tool. To get there, you just right click on your browser and click on the inspect. And here you go. This is your developer tool. So right here you can see the box model. In this tab here, say computed right here. So for us to easily examine it, now if I select this first box, you can actually see here the content, the padding, which is 20 pixel, the border, which is 1 pixel, and the margin highlighted here. Yeah, so this is incredibly helpful for debugging your layout and understanding why elements are positioned the way they are on your web page. As you go along, building up web pages, you would get to really see and understand this box model very well. So the CSS box model is a very fundamental concept, and once you grab it, you would have so much control over your layout and your spacing. So I'll encourage you to keep practicing with all of this, and in our next video we'll start looking at CSS positioning, which allows us to place elements wherever you want to place them on your web page. All right, I'll see you in our next video. Thank you.